Hello, my name is Christy Gill, and I'm going to give you an overview of my critical media literacy lesson plan assignment. So the focus for this lesson will be on a Cocoa Puff cereal advertisement that I found online. And then my reconstructed activity will be for my students to create a Cocoa Crunch cereal advertisement using an application on MediaSmart. The key concept that I'm going to focus in on is media are constructions. So if you go through my lesson plan, there's a lot of information here, and I do have a breakdown of it, but I do want to focus in on the fact that I've created asynchronized and synchronized learning opportunities because I think it's relevant to our circumstance currently. And going into placement, I think that if people are going to use this, this will be more adaptable to their learning. I've utilized a lot of resources on MediaSmarts, but I've recreated them to be more relevant to my grade and my learning and teaching style. Finally, this lesson plan is meant to be for 60 minutes, but because there's so much information, dependent on the students in the class, this may take longer than the 60-minute allocated time. So it is flexible for extension. The focus is going to be on grade 5 and in the health and physical education curriculum. So the curriculum expectation I'm going to focus in on is describing how advertising, food marketing, and media affect food choices. In particular, I'm going to focus on TV commercials, product packaging, and celebrity endorsements, things that I will talk about throughout this lesson plan. So this is an introductory lesson to advertising, and it's done in strategic steps so that students build on their learning. So it's kind of like scaffolded, and I think it was done really well. There's a lot of activities throughout this class, and students get more engaged and reflect a lot throughout this lesson plan. So the success criteria will have students say, when I look at an advertisement, I can tell you what the purpose of the ad is, who created the media product, and what the ad's creators want me to believe. And here are the resources that I have in my lesson plan, but I'll go over them with you shortly. For content time, I've included synchronized activities as well as asynchronized activities. So this is the really fun part. For the hook or focus, I would suggest having the teacher simulate an advertisement in real time. So actually, to begin, this might be something that the teacher does before the lesson even begins. And how they do that is they'd have a product in their hand, like a drink, that has a symbol for Coca-Cola or Pepsi that they drink out of for the entire week prior to this lesson to get students thinking about advertisements without even realizing it. And then in this particular class, the teacher will exaggerate their love for a beverage that they choose. And students will have a discussion with their teacher about this. And a quick test will be done to see who thinks what about which products. And from there, they will decide which product is the best, and then they will do a reflection about this. So here I say, ensure to ask, how did the results compare to the drink that the teacher started off with? I don't even know if students will even consider this, but if I chose Coke, do you find that a lot of your students at the end chose Coke as well? Did the teacher's advertisement influence people's decisions? This is when we want students to realize that they were part of a simulation advertisement themselves. And finally, what is an advertisement anyways? Here we want students to know what we're jumping into. So from here, I would want to know, what do my students already know? This we will reflect on many times, and we'll refer to it as KWL, what your students know, what they want to know, and what they've learned. So the quick fact activity sheet can be found at the very bottom in my appendices. If you click on this link, it will take you to the Canva website, and here you can actually access my page. The first activity sheet is media, construction, media are constructions. So you would ask students what they know about each of these, and as you notice, it's a Venn diagram. So maybe students will start to recognize that media and construction are relevant to media are constructions. After they do this quick fact activity sheet, they will do a video, which is asynchronized by themselves, where they will watch this video and think about the answers that they wrote previously. I won't go into this because we did do this in class. Moving forward, students will participate in 3 activity sheets where they think and pair share with their partners. So activity sheet 1 is a reflection, which they will go back on this sheet here, and they will discuss with their partner what Media Art Constructions is in particular. Once they've completed that, they will move on to the second sheet, which is exploring advertisements. Here, they will think, pair, share with their partner in answering these questions. It may be interesting when you talk to your students to see if they used the picture that's a form of advertisement to help them answer these questions. It's just a little something to add in there. And finally, they'll come to this page, which is Media Minute Video Reflection. So this is where they take the video that they watched prior and they put it into practice. So as you can see, there's an advertisement here, and they will use these questions to reflect on the advertisement. To follow, we will come together as a group and make a discussion chart comparing and contrasting everyone's answers. An option here is a virtual whiteboard. This I'm incredibly proud of because I created it myself. It's called 5 Gimmicks and it's in the form of an ed puzzle. So I'll just jump into it now. And it looks like this. I could have this moment for life. 'Cause in this moment I just feel so alive, alive, I wish that I could have this moment for life. So as students are going through these videos, they will be asked questions that they will reflect on. And then to follow, they will be asked questions about the 5 gimmicks in advertising. So without even knowing it, as they're participating in this fun activity, they are learning about the 5 gimmicks, which is a lot of fun. It's about a 1.5-minute video, and I think my students are gonna have a lot of fun doing this one. To follow, we will consolidate all of our answers and ideas in a group discussion with one another. And then finally, the accumulating reconstruction activity will have students using a MediaSmart advertisement link where they will recreate their own advertisements, but it's facilitated by an app. And I'll explain this a little further.
I'm Cocoa Crunch, and I'm a really popular cereal. The company behind the cereal is creating a new website just for me, and you can help out.
So as you go through this activity, it will eventually layer things that you will learn about gimmicks in advertising, which is something we just discussed in the ed puzzle. So for the purpose of time, I'm going to run through this really quickly and show you the end product, but I will put you on mute.
Congratulations! You have used all 5 gimmicks to create the Cocoa Crunch cereal website. Print out your work and show it to your teacher or parent.
So I think my students are going to have a lot of fun with this one. So for closing, my assessment pieces are quick fact activity sheets that were revised so students would compare and contrast their answers initially when they thought about it on their own and the answers they came up with their partners. The 5 gimmicks allowed students to learn and assess their thinking and how to apply it. In reflection, the video reflection activity sheet for Media Art Constructions gave students an opportunity to reflect on what they thought they knew and how the video helped them learn further. KWL chart was when we compared and contrasted our ideas in what we knew, what we wanted to know, and what we learned. Now, the accumulating reconstruction activity, the one I just showed you, currently is a reflection activity. But moving forward, when students take the time to explain their learning and why they made the decisions they made and the effects it has, this will eventually become either an assessment tool or an evaluation tool. But this will be done in a further class. So there's multiple additional resources that you can include with this, but because I have so much information here, I didn't include it with my lesson plan because I didn't know if it was important or relevant at this time. So at the end though, I want to introduce a creative project similar to the MediaSmart Cocoa Crunch marketing activity, but I want to do this with students outside of a virtual setting, and I want them to do it using arts and crafts. So they would create their own advertisement, but more freestyle and with less assistance from the teacher. So for next class, I would begin by going over what they learned last class and the criteria for success. So we would discuss when I look at an advertisement, I can tell you, and these 3 points. As mentioned, my point in all this is I want my students to work towards less guided direction by the teacher and be able to provide a piece of work that takes all the information they learned from this lesson plan and produce their own advertisements. And that's it. So I hope you had a lot of fun listening to my lesson plan and you were able to envision what it would look like for you in your classroom. And I hope that it's of use to you. Thank you. Bye.